Yes, guys, what is happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to La PIñA Rosa show, of course, where we talk about 10, his team, Deportivo La Coruña, and my Palermo, who are really letting me down right now. But obviously, for those that noticed, there wasn't a show last week, considering that I was sick. So we are back this week for La PIñA Rosa. Since then, quite a lot has happened. Palermo have won a game, but unfortunately, we've mostly been in the mud. Deportivo, a few things have happened there as well. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of it. Before we do, please like the stream, subscribe to both channels here if you haven't already as well. And yeah, 10, as always, big up. I know this is being streamed on both channels. So yeah, get all your thoughts in the chat on everything we spoke about today. But yeah, 10, big up to you. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Well, I mean, it's probably like I have two hearts. One kind of happy with Deportivo.
Oh yeah, Newcastle.
With Newcastle, which we'll talk about when we do our show later this week. But yeah, in terms of Deportivo, doing good, and yeah, looking forward to talking about good results for Deportivo and all that. So yeah, doing good.
Good. Look, I mean, I think it's fair to say that Deportivo, since we last did the show, have definitely been in.
I've won every game.
I've won every game and have been improving, unlike Palermo, sadly, because Palermo, I spoke about on the last show, there are a lot of cracks appearing, and cracks that I'm very familiar with from last season. Cracks that were appearing a lot last season that are creeping back into us. But look, we'll get into it in a bit. But we'll start with Deportivo. Obviously, since we last spoke, obviously because we couldn't do the show last week, just a very quick recap. Deportivo went through in the cup. They played. What's the name of the team you guys played?
UD Sámano from
Colombia. So the fourth tier of Spanish football,
I think,
or fourth or fifth. Yeah, fifth even lower. So they went through in that game, winning 2-1, I believe.
5-1, actually,
and or 5-1. Why was I give 2-1? That's weird. 5-1. Big up to Scott M as well. Serie G. That's not even Serie G. That's not even a thing. Oh man. Yeah. Obviously 5-1 expected. You know, nobody really batted an eyelid at that sort of result. Second division against fifth division. It should be a comfortable win, and they are through to the next round of the Copa del Rey. Beat Zaragoza 2-0 in the second game. That was obviously a win that we both said was a must-win, considering Deportivo hadn't won for a while, and they had to get back to winning ways. And they did that in a game where they should have, obviously, bottom of the league. But then over at the weekend, they faced Cultural Leonesa with a 3-0 win. Obviously, a newly promoted team, I believe, into the second division. Currently not doing well either, sitting in the relegation zone. But Deportivo, and this just shows you how quickly the table can change. When we last did this show, they were about eighth or something. 9th. Now they're back up to second. So
it depends on what the result is of the game that's happening now.
Yeah, of course. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it just shows you that things can change very quickly. It shows you that it's still early in the season. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, 10. Obviously, first of all, give a quick recap on sort of the games that we were supposed to talk about last week for the show. And also, mostly, talk about your win, 3-0, big win, back-to-back wins in the league, and back into the automatic spots.
Yeah, for the Sámano game in the Copa del Rey, well, actually, I did like a video for both the Sámano and Zaragoza games, which I uploaded last week. So you guys can check that out. More detail. I'm not sure if I have it in my description, but yeah, overall, the Sámano game, just get the win, comfortable. A lot of rotation because it's second tier against fifth tier, and 5-1. Build confidence, and then the Zaragoza game, I think from what I remember, pretty comfortable, more or less in the end. I would say that game a 2-0 win. Even though, yeah, at halftime it was 0-0, but second half, a good goal by Soriano and a goal by David Mayer, which I remember the assist being a back heel.
Yeah, I saw the highlights actually. It was a mad assist.
Yeah,
incredible.
And yeah, and that thankfully has now built up some confidence heading into this one between Deportivo and Leonesa, which I didn't go to the game, but if it was like 2 seasons ago, the season Deportivo got promoted, I was actually at this game. It was that time 2-0 for Deportivo, and that was actually my first Deportivo home game, I guess. Like the first time I actually been to the stadium when Deportivo won and eventually got promoted to the second tier. So, at least this was actually the last time we played Leonesa. So, yeah, but this time we got a 3-0 win, which is nice. I think overall, I would probably say we were the better team in this game against
Scott M.
oh no. Where's
big
that
up to Scott. This one. Now this is in Spain. This is Deportivo's opponent.
Yeah.
But you'll see. I mean, Scott will probably like the name of when I talk about Palermo, you'll probably like the name of the team we played, also the team we're playing next, called Virtus Entella. So
and the one before, it's like you would think it's Juventus, but
yeah, Juve Stabia.
But yeah, in terms of this game between Deportivo and Leonesa, I would probably say it was a pretty good, comfortable win for Deportivo. I think the first 2 goals from Deportivo were really bad mistakes by the Leonesa defense. Like
I saw, yeah.
The first
one of them was that pass back. It was like awful, man.
Yeah, like a pass back, and Zakaria just rounded the goalkeeper to score. That was the first goal, and then the second goal, I forgot which Leonesa player, it literally kicks the ball at his own player. I know it was meant to be like a pass out wide, but hits his own player, and then we just took advantage with the like practically a 3v2 because it was unexpected, and then scored Soriano scoring. So now I think back-to-back games from Soriano, and then the third goal after halftime, a pretty decent break, Yeremai to Zakaria, which obviously put it past the goalkeeper in a 3-0 win.
Zakaria with 2 goals in this game, and they gave him man of the match.
Yeah,
2 goals and an assist. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, involved with every goal in this game, and yeah, I think even though the first half maybe Leonesa had a few chances, in the first half, I would say, like honestly, like when you look at the first half stats, like Deportivo only had 2 shots in that first half. Both of them were goals. Meanwhile, Leonesa had 10 shots in the first half, 4 of them on target, but 0 goals. So Deportivo were very clinical in the first half, whereas the second half, it was just more.
I mean, from what I saw, you guys you dropped off a little bit, but in general, you did enough to win the game. Like, I mean, the stats, you only had 3 shots on target, 3 goals. You were clinical, essentially. You defended well, but yeah, it was a good performance. I wouldn't say it was like the most amazing, but you guys, you did more than enough to win the game, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I know we hit like the crossbar once. I think it was Yeremai, I believe, that hit the crossbar, and then I think just some pretty good chances overall from Depor.
It was just comfort. It just felt like it was just comfortable.
Yeah,
very,
obviously,
very
I think Leonesa probably helped with that, obviously, because they're defensively, a bit. Leonesa are okay-ish. I think it depends on the game they play, but overall, very good win for Depor, I would say, because obviously now that's back-to-back wins in the league since going 3 in a row when we play like Huesca, Miranda's that time. So yeah, it's a pretty good win, and I would probably say looking at the table now, we're second at the moment.
It just shows you how it can change. It just shows you how. I mean, to be fair, you're second, but even then, you're still, you're just 2 points from 6th. So it's like it can change.
Yeah,
very
and 2
quickly.
points from first.
Yeah.
Santander lost to Las Palmas, so it was actually it depends on what the result is between Burgos and Castellón.
Currently 0-0 approaching halftime. So
no, I do think probably I feel like Burgos will win, but it kind of shows
I remember
how
Burgos
competitive.
passing through Burgos on the way back from Bilbao.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I heard it's a really nice city. I've never been,
I
but
only saw it at night. Genuinely, I only saw it at night.
yeah, I know in terms of like just how the table looks, it's obviously a lot better than the last one or two times we did this show. Now that Deportivo are in the top two, and obviously, it feels like our goal difference. I mean, depends on other games, but obviously we have the best goal difference in the league. We're actually now the
Yeah,
second
look, you've scored, second top scorers and
behind Santander.
joint second best defense or third best defense, I think.
More or less, something like that.
Yeah, because Cadiz have 9, Las Palmas 8, you guys
11.
Oh yeah, so still pretty good. Generally, I mean, your defense is much better than Santander's. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
they're extremely gung ho as a team.
Yeah, and they lost 3-1, I believe, at their home. I believe the last game. Let me see. Yeah, no, away. But yeah, I think obviously now with the upcoming 2 games that we have, hopefully can get wins in that, and hopefully kind of see if the Segunda finally has a bit of separation from a few teams.
You want to hope eventually kind of you can pull away sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm looking at your next couple of games will be against
Córdoba,
who are
actually 6.
Oh yeah, they're 8th. Córdoba 8th.
But,
and then
unbeaten actually.
Actually, yeah. I mean, unbeaten in their last 5, and you also play
Ceuta. Yeah.
Ceuta, sorry, the team from North Africa. So
yeah, which I know there was some. I don't know if anyone knows about the news. Whereby I think yesterday's game between Ceuta and Almeria, the game was 1-1, but there was I'm not sure what the cause of it was, but I guess it was a cardiac arrest, I believe, and unfortunately, Ceuta fan died in the stands, I believe, in the Ceuta Almeria game. So that's been postponed to I don't know when. So obviously, condolences.
rest in peace to him, man. Very
friends
sad.
and family
Very
and
sad.
everyone at Ceuta.
Yeah, that was obviously a tough day for them.
Yeah, and obviously, hopefully, maybe Ceuta does something incredible, except maybe against Depor in 2 weeks. But yeah, I guess overall, it's in terms of the standings, it's been a good reading for Depor now after a terrible past 5 games before. Since the last time we did this show, so far so good for Depor. But now it's all about trying to pull away, you could say, especially now that we are away at Córdoba in the next game. All the way in the south in Andalusia, like near Sevilla, Malaga. So it's gonna be a long travel, that one.
I mean, what's your thoughts for the next 2 games? Because obviously, as I say, for those that don't know, it is international break. La Liga 2 does go on during the international break, so there'll be no show next week because obviously Palermo doesn't play until after the international break. But
I'll be good.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I agree. I'll be honest. But Deportivo play twice before the next show. Obviously 2 games where obviously Córdoba doing well.
Really good, yeah.
Doing well in the league. But the other game against Ceuta, where are they in the table? I've completely forgot. They're 10th. So actually not too far away. There's only 2 points separating both these teams. But I mean, for your kind of look at Deportivo, obviously 3 wins in a row, including 1 in the cup, back-to-back wins in the league. Although I guess you can take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt because both those teams are in the relegation zone.
Yeah. So, especially Zaragoza. They lost to Granada. They're now what?
They're bottom on 6 points.
8 points.
8 points.
Safety.
8 points from safety. Yeah. So
yeah, they're down. Like they are the one team I'm confident goes
They're
down,
nailed on just to finish like rock bottom. So
or at least bottom four, because it's the bottom four, which makes it
yeah,
even tougher. Because that means usually it's like the bottom three, like in England, well, apart from League One, but it's usually the bottom three. But in the Segunda, it's the bottom four, so that makes it even more tougher, to survive. So yeah, I think I'll go for Gone, especially the game when
yeah.
we played them. They didn't look
So
good.
it just kind of shows you that, like, you take it with a bit of a pinch of salt to kind of say if
Yeah,
Deportivo really have turned the corner after what was a very poor run of form.
yeah.
But kind of, what's your thoughts on the next two games? Has your recent couple of wins kind of, have you seen a change in things, or do you think that quality of opposition played a part to that? I mean, what's your thoughts on the whole situation?
Probably opposition kind of helped. Playing two teams at the moment in the relegation zone, helps. And at least you could say didn't bottle it against those teams. I mean, actually, in the bottom four, the teams in the relegation zone, Deportivo have beaten all four of them. We
So
beat
you're beating the
Granada.
teams you should. On the whole, you're beating a lot of the teams you
Yeah,
should
we
be
actually
beating.
beat all of the bottom five: Huesca, Granada, Leonesa.
Although you did lose to Malaga, which was bad. So
Yeah, but that's why I said bottom five.
yeah, not bottom six.
But this game against Cordoba, obviously they are in very good form. They've you know unbeaten in the last five. So obviously, just like a lot of teams right now in the mix, like if you remember, like what 2-3 shows ago, Andorra were in and amongst it, and now Andorra are like mid-table. So yeah, it's still a bit, you can say, topsy turvy, just like Palermo's form. But this game against Cordoba away, the last time we played them, I think it ended 2-0 for them. But obviously that was last season, and we drew 1-1 at home in the reverse game. But we haven't beaten them since 2019. The final
Oh
day.
wow, you've got a bad record against them then.
Yeah, so since then, it's been 3 draws and 1 defeat. So obviously not a great record. Since
Would you say they're a bit of a bogey team then? Would you say that?
I guess so. I would say. I mean, I think probably now that they're on good form, perhaps they are. So it's going to be pretty tough. Like, if you want to count since 2015, 2014, we've only beaten them once, right? Yeah, we've only
But
beaten
have
them
you
once.
guys been in the same league for every year since 2019?
More or less, somewhat. It was just that one season where they went down and went back up
Okay.
in
Because I
20.
know everyone knows the story of Deportivo. Like, you guys dropped down to the third division,
Yeah,
and
for
stuff.
4 years.
So yeah. So obviously you're back in the second division now. But
And hopefully first division.
yep.
Barcelona, as they beat Celta.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you're
and the
happy,
goat,
South.
and the goat, Messi, was at the
Oh yeah.
Spotify.
The actual goat, not Anthony.
Oh, okay, the second goat.
Oh,
But yeah, I think this game against Cordoba, I mean, we did play two relegation teams and Sámano, so I think we just have to see how it goes.
I
But
think this will be the test, won't it? This will be the test to see if you guys are back on form, or it was just the
yeah,
opposition the last
yeah.
couple of
So
games.
I think it will be tough. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I will go with, as a prediction, just because they're also unbeaten now, Cordoba, and it's away at their stadium. I can see it being like a 1-1.
Yeah. I reckon you'll draw as well. I reckon 2-2, and then you'll win against Sweater at home.
Yeah.
I reckon. I mean, what do you think about that game? Because obviously you're at home. I know they're doing quite well as well, but I reckon being at home, slightly easier game, I would say. I think you get 4 points from your next two games. I reckon.
Yeah, I think 4 points probably has to be the aim. Obviously, we host Ceuta, and I would think they're at least in a good headspace. Maybe at that time, who knows, in 2 weeks, obviously with what happened to one of the fans. But obviously this game is going to be, a pretty tough game, I would say, against them. Ceuta started the season very bad, but that's just because they were newly promoted. So you usually expect newly promoted to be very terrible. I wish that was Sunderland, but at least,
Robbie. Robbie.
But yeah, I think Ceuta, they've now obviously, since losing like 3 games in a row to start the season, they've been unbeaten for a long time, and then just recently, kind of lost. Actually, they did lose to Córdoba before the Almeria game, which got postponed. So we're actually playing the 2 teams that play each other recently, and Córdoba won. So if you want to think of that, you would expect Córdoba to be the tougher game. Obviously, I would love 6 points. But this game, I would probably say we'll beat Ceuta, but obviously, just like any other game, it will be tough. In terms of prediction, obviously, we'll see how it happens with the Cordoba game on, right? Yeah. I'll probably go, since I said 1-1, I'll go 2-0 against Ceuta, which would be 4 points, which would mean in terms of the table, we would be on 27 points, and obviously trying to see if Deportivo can kind of catch up to Santander, who at least Santander in the next 2 games play Granada, which I think they probably will win, but they play Burgos, who are doing quite well. So yeah, I think it's a test for both us and Santander in terms of the battle to try to survive, you can say, and big up to Lewis as well. But yeah, I'll go 1-1 in the Cordoba game and 2-0 Deportivo against Ceuta in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I reckon 4 points. I think kind of 4 points is sort of the minimum I think you should expect from those games. I think that, anything less than 4 points, you're kind of thinking maybe 3 points, you can get away with. But I think, yeah, like I think that's going to be the test, because you're playing 2 decent teams who are obviously a lot better than your last 2 opponents. So I think that will sort of be the test to see if you guys have sort of come back. But yeah, look, no doubt, definitely 2 very comfortable, very good performances from Deportivo to get back-to-back wins in the league and get themselves back into the automatic spots up to second in the table. So
yeah, cannot wait to talk about the other team.
Oh God, yeah, we will get there in a sec. But yeah, that is Deportivo back into the automatic spots where they want to be. But we'll see in the weeks ahead. Some tough games coming up if they can keep things going. But yeah, some comfortable wins, back-to-back wins in the league. But let's get on to my club, Palermo. Where do I start, guys? Obviously, since we last did the show, it was coming off the back of that absolute disgusting performance against
States Catanzaro.
US Catanzaro, yes, which I spoke about. But since then, quite a bit has happened. 3 games have happened since then. We got absolutely played off the park at home to Monza. Monza, who are doing really well right now, are in the automatic spots. Obviously relegated from Serie A last season. It took them a bit of time to get going, but they have now got going in the league this year. We lost 3-0. We lost 3-0 at home. Absolutely disgusting performance. Kind of no reaction whatsoever to the disaster at Catanzaro. Monza, look, I know they're a very good team, but Palermo are supposed to be on that level this season. Palermo are supposed to be competing for the automatic spots. And when not only are we not beating our rivals, which we've obviously drawn with a lot of them this year, but when we're getting absolutely pammed at home to our rivals, you have to be concerned. And I said after the Catanzaro game that alarm bells are ringing. The same habits, the same problems from last season are returning with these players. And Monza was just another symptom of it. An absolutely disgraceful performance. However, we did bounce back. in our 125th anniversary. Obviously, happy birthday to Palermo. Happy birthday to the only club with pink and black in the world. None of this Miami shit. Palermo, we are the only Rosanero in the world. Happy birthday to them.
Remember when Everton had pink?
Yeah, but that's an away kit. That's an away kit. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about home traditional colors. We are the only club in the world with that. I don't count Inter Miami. They're a plastic club that will be nothing.
No.
There'll be a plastic club that amount to nothing once Messi retires.
They'll get the GOAT.
And it was happy birthday Palermo, 125th anniversary, and look, it was a great day in general. Obviously, wasn't there, not in Sicily right now, but all the legends came out. Many different names. Big up to Zir in the chat as well. Every single time. It was a great day because obviously it was the anniversary, 125 years. Playing Pescara at home, who are Whitecaps. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, LAFC as well with Sun as well. So
I don't really have MLS.
I like LAFC because they got a bit of a Spurs.
I'll go Atlanta United because
LAFC
because of Miggy Wiggy. I'm pretty sure he plays at
I think that's where he went. He went back there. But basically it was our anniversary. And we won 5-0 against Pescara, who a newly promoted team. It was Palermo that we didn't see against Monza and Catanzaro. Palermo, who were much better in this game. We were scoring goals. There you go, Müller, better than Messi. Look, Messi's a fake club. It is what it is. Messi's the GOAT, but his club are scummy. So it is what it is. But yeah. 5-0. Our captain Brunori with his first goal of the season. That was a goal that he needed, I think. Pirozzi, clearly by far our player of the season so far. Definitely somebody that's been, I would say, our best player this season, and somebody that I know he's not the youngest, but if we don't go up this year, he's somebody that could easily go to Serie A. I'm not even joking. He's somebody that could easily be snapped up by a Serie A club the way he's playing. This is a wing back, and he's probably one of our biggest goal threats at the moment. So Pirozzi back in, I was saying this before, Inzaghi was playing him at right centre-back, which didn't make sense to me. But he moved him back to wing-back and obviously plays very well, gets 2 goals against Pescara. In a 5-0 win, it was comfortable. But sadly, very sadly, I was hoping, maybe we've turned a corner. We finally scored some goals. Palermo have been struggling to score goals this season. We scored like a bunch of goals, 5-0 in one game. And I'm thinking, I know it's Pescara. I know they're a newly promoted team, but maybe this is the turning point. I didn't think we'd beat them 5-0. I predicted like a 2-0 or something. We put 5 past them. But sadly, like the title says, it was back to reality on Saturday away to Juve Stabia in an absolutely disgusting game. I just have no words to describe this completely and utter dross performance. We lose 1-0. Obviously, the same scoreline that knocked us out of the playoffs last year it wasn't even like the main rounds. It was the preliminary rounds of the playoffs. We finished 8th last year in the last playoff spot. So, we were in the first round and we got knocked out 1-0. And it was the same again. And I'll be honest, a carbon copy. The exact same performance, the exact same problems. An absolute joke. And I know Juve Stabia, we look at the table. Palermo in 6th now. Juve Stabia just 2 points behind us with a game in hand. So I knew that Juve Stabia wouldn't be the easiest game. It was actually, I would say, definitely a harder game than the likes of Catanzaro, even though they have gone up the table now. But I look at the lineup. It was actually a lineup that I was okay with. Obviously, the big news, and this happened against Pescara, Mattia Banni, by far our best centre-back back in the team. He came back from injury way earlier than anyone expected. So it's obviously great to have him back. Jolonen in goal, Ceccaroni, Birinsinski at right centre-back. I was actually, like I said, I was pretty happy with this lineup. Pirozzi, right wing-back, Agello, left wing-back, Ranocchia and Segre. And then front three, Brunori, Poyampalo, and Palumbo. This formation, this graphic is saying a 3-4-3, but having watched it, it was more of a 3-5-2, which is what I was calling for, with 2 up top. But this was a joke of a performance. It's as simple as that. There's nothing positive for me to say about Palermo. I look at the subs. I mean, Diakite, I think I probably would have started ahead of Birinsinski, potentially.
Was he the one at fault?
Diakite, Birinsinski, yeah. No, it was Pierozzi. Pierozzi, he slipped for Juve Stabia's goal. Look, great finish, really good finish, but it was a mistake on our part. And that's it. That's all the game was, really. I'm not saying Juve. I don't think Juve Stabia were amazing, but at the end of the day, we were just absolute trash. And I'll be honest, playing like we did on Saturday, we would have lost to any team in this league. I'm not even joking. We were that bad. And what I'm really struggling with at the moment is, obviously, you see here, one shot on target. One shot on target. I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling to understand what's going on with Palermo, because I keep saying this, and look, right now this isn't the case. I'll be totally real. Right now this isn't the case. We are not the best team in the league. We do not have the best players in the league right now, because they're not playing like it. They're not playing like me and everyone else thought. Because right now they're playing like absolute pussies. Right now, complete pussies, completely folding. What I've noticed with Palermo is when we go 1-0 down, we don't know how to respond. We don't know how to pull it back. We completely shit ourselves every single time we concede the first goal. And it happened again. And I'm going to call it out. Players that, are at this club that will say, if you ask them, will probably say, we should be in Serie A. I'm a Serie A level player, blah, blah, blah. But they're not showing it. And I'm talking about people. Where are these performances? I'm looking at the midfield. Ranocchia, Segre. The same problems happening again. The midfield had for those that don't know, the last couple of years, the midfield had a really good spell at the start, dropped off. We're seeing it again. I should have known. Segre, Ranocchia, Gomez, whoever it is, completely going to shit once again after a good start to the season, after a little mini purple patch, you could call it, completely going to shit. I look at the forwards. The forwards I'm absolutely disgusted by right now. I mean, Poyampalo, this guy, yes, I don't think it's entirely his fault, because I think the service is absolutely appalling. I think the chemistry between him and the other forwards, the wing backs, I think is absolutely appalling right now. But he needs to do more. He's not impacting the game whatsoever. He's not holding up the ball. He's not contributing anything whatsoever. And that can be the same with Palumbo. Palumbo was a massive signing for us in the summer. Palumbo was, at the time, I said, the best signing we made in the summer. Great with Modena last year. Their best player easily. He's come in and he's done absolutely nothing apart from one assist. One assist against Südtirol, which was great. Really good assist. Apart from that, he's done absolutely nothing for us. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say that, especially the players we just signed, guys like Palumbo, guys like as well, Agello, who we just signed as well. I'm not going to go too much. I don't want to kind of talk too much about the new signings. I want to focus my attention more on the players that have been here for 2-3 years, because this has happened over and over and over again, because they have zero bottle. Whenever they hit a bad run, they don't know how to get out of it. For those that know, 23-24 February, you had to be there. 3-0 against Bari. 3-0 against Como. Como that everybody raves about now. Guess what? That Como was getting battered by Palermo that February. But guess what? That's not my point. Soon as we draw to Cremonese from being 2-0 up, we didn't win a game until fucking April. And it's these same players that do it over and over again. We were second. I'm using that as the example because it's proof that so many of these players don't know how to get out of a bad rut. That's the example of it. Went second in February, beat Como, then can't win a game until April. And then we, obviously do the playoffs. Obviously, Corini gets sacked and all of that. Magnani comes in on interim until the end of the season, and we get beat by Venezia in the playoffs. But listen, this is nowhere near good enough. And I'm calling it out. These same players are letting us down. And yes, a lot of these players might have the quality on paper. I always say, that's why even at the start of the season when I was very confident about Palermo, I always maintain the fact on paper. I never said that, look, we have a God-given right to go and spunk this league like, you know, a lot of us believed we could. But football's not played on paper. And what we're seeing right now is proof of that, because we have a lot of talent in the squad, but they have no understanding, no communication, no leadership, no chemistry whatsoever. Their understanding of each other is non-existent. Non-existent. And that's what I think is going on right now. I think we have a serious problem with some of these players that specifically that have been here 2-3 years, that have let us down, right? And yes, you know, we can blame managers. Obviously, Corini wasn't the best. I still think, you know, he did a lot better than Dionisi, of course, but we can blame managers. We can, you know, people talk about Inzaghi right now. Listen, Inzaghi got up with Pisa. Pisa, who, you know, nobody expected Pisa to get promoted last season. Nobody expected it. Got Pisa up comfortably in second. Pisa, I'll even say it now, even their team in Serie A, on paper, Pisa don't have a better squad than Palermo. I'll be really honest, they don't. They don't have a better squad than us. But guess what? They have the mentality. They know how to get it done. They're a team. They have the chemistry. We don't have any of that. And until you get that, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's what I'm seeing right now. We have won 2 games in our last 8. 2 wins in 8 is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And this performance was no different. I mean, just going back to the table, we're 6th right now. We are now 7 points from top. 7 points.
Or
I know
6 from top 2.
6 from top 2, even more alarming. Yeah, 6 from top 2. This is guys. It's still early. I know that the season's got a long way to go, and I know that knowing Serie B, because this league is very unpredictable, there are going to be more twists, there are going to be more turns, 100%. But right now, we are nowhere near good enough to finish in the top 2. We are nowhere near good enough, and we're not going to do it currently. Right now, unless I see a complete change, Palermo are not going to be in the top 2. We'll be lucky to make the playoffs. We'll be very lucky to make the playoffs right now. Because, look, I mean, Juve Stabia, they win their game in hand. They go above us. You know? I'm not confident in us beating anyone right now. Because we don't have any chemistry. There is no... And look, I said at the start of the season that we're winning games, we're getting results. Our defense is playing well. But if we're going to really kind of cement ourselves in the top 2, we're going to have to play better. We're going to have to, you know, have more chemistry in the team. We're going to have to link up better. We're going to have players, you know, actually create chances. We can't do it. And guess what? We're plummeting down the table. We're 6 points from the automatic spots, which is totally unacceptable for Palermo this season. Because I'll say it right. We have to go up this year. I know that sounds very like blunt and stuff, but we do. We have to go up this year because otherwise, right, like I said, players might leave. Pirozzi, who I point to, mostly kind of been our best player this year. You know, Inzaghi might not stick around because I'll be honest, if we don't go up this year, I'd still keep Inzaghi because it's got to a point where he's proven he can get teams up very recently. Plus, you know, he did it with worse players. You know, I would genuinely, if we don't go up, even if we go up, this probably needs to happen anyway, but we need more. And it's crazy for me to say this because I still believe, yeah, Palermo have one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team on paper. But with the way these players are, with their mentality, I'd get rid of a load of them in the summer, starting in January potentially, because this can't continue. This is becoming, and look, I haven't really noticed this until now. This is kind of the first time I've really seen this. It's becoming a pattern. You know, players that have been there 2-3 years are the ones putting in our worst performances. And that's manifesting around our other players that are playing just as bad right now. So what's going on right now is unacceptable. Yes, it was great to beat Pescara. Yes, 5-0. You know, everyone thought, you know, maybe we've turned a corner. But that Juve Stabia game sadly just showed me that nothing's changed. And that it was because Pescara were absolute shit against us. And I mean, look, they're 19th. They're second bottom. Pescara. They're 19th. You know?
Yeah.
That's the sort of team we can beat right now. Because yes, and I understand we've had a tough start to the season. We've played pretty much we've played everyone above us so far. this season. We played everyone in the top 8 now, including Reggiana on the first game. So I'm fully aware we have had a tough start in terms of fixtures, but at the same time, for us to put in the performances we have in certain games is disgusting. And we're not going to get anywhere with those performances. It's as simple as that. So that is my thoughts on Juve Stabia. Am I confident about Virtus Entella? No, I'm not confident whatsoever. Look, we might beat them because look where they are, 14th, you know. But at the same time, like I said with Palermo, the way we played against Juve Stabia, we could lose to anyone. Genuinely, we can lose to anyone because it was that bad. So, and they just got a draw at Reggiana, who are, you know, only 3 points behind us. Reggiana 0-0 there. So, yeah, all I'm going to say is right now, as it stands on current trajectory, automatic promotion is slipping away. It's completely slipping away. It's as simple as that. 10. Having said all of that, after I went on a bit of a rant, what's your thoughts on? I would say at this point a bit of a crisis at Palermo.
Oh no! What happens to all the confidence of we're going?
I know, but I did. But remember, I did say on paper. I always maintain that on paper. So at least I wasn't fully out there.
Yeah. I mean, if football was played on this, I would probably win the World Cup, you know, by then, you know. But unfortunately, football is not on paper. It's on a bit of a field, grass and all. But yeah, I think, you know, when obviously the win against Pescara, the 5-0.
I forgot to even mention Ranocchia got sent off at the end.
So yeah. Actually, I don't know why was that second.
It was weird. Yeah, it was really weird. I still don't understand.
I know he was like complaining, but he wasn't the one that made the foul.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't know why, but okay. But yeah, I think when you remove the 5-0 against Pescara, in terms of goals, like goals scored and conceded,
it's disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful.
9 conceded.
It's disgusting. And you consider we've got Poyampalo, who's supposed to be a 25 goal a season striker in this league.
Yeah. So I think unless you play Pescara every week on an anniversary day, I don't really see it. But at least, you know, you could say, oh, maybe that's a inspiring performance. But, you know, even the last 4 games, you know,
2 wins in 8 games. 2 wins in 8 games.
Yeah, and one of them was 5-0 against Pescara, and
the other one was Spezia, who, guess what, are in the relegation zone as well.
Oh no, this is like talking about Deportivo again. But yeah, I think I would say, you know, in even just the past 4 games, you know, Catanzaro, Monza, Pescara, Juve Stabia, like the only time Palermo scored was against Pescara at home, you know, with, you know, nice atmosphere and all that. But, you know, the other 3 games, United States, Catanzaro, Monza, and Juventus, Juve Stabia.
I know everyone thinks it's Juve's B team, but it's not.
it would be nice actually, but yeah, but you know, considering Palermo failed to score in all 3 of the defeats so far this season, obviously isn't great because it shows, you know, if Palermo go a goal down, that means
we don't know how to come back. We have zero mentality. I see that the players, their heads drop. It's just terrible, man.
Has there been a game that Palermo came back?
Nope.
I remember this season. So, you know, it kind of shows, you know, it's a bit of a tough as you said, mentality.
The mentality's on the floor, man. Because like I said, the players that have been here for a while, it's the same problems. I'm seeing the same performance, exactly the same.
Yeah, and obviously with the upcoming game against Virtus or Virtuoso, and in a couple of weeks is, you know, going to be quite
it's massive.
Probably the international break came at probably the right time for Palermo because, you know,
perfect.
I think since the international break, it's been the Catanzaro and those games.
Obviously that lucky draw we got at home to Modena as well. There's that one.
So I think, you know, it's just not been a great, you know, in between the two international breaks. So, you know, there has to be a response, and who knows? Because you know, Virtus and Tella, they're doing, they're okay.
They're doing better than. I mean, to be fair, Avellino's the best promoted team, but they're doing okay.
Yeah,
They're doing for a promoted team. They're doing okay.
yeah. So I think it's going to be quite, you could say, a tough game against Virtus and Tella away.
Yeah. I mean, what would you? I mean, I'll ask you, kind of looking in from the outside. What do you think? What do you think are problems? What do you think about our problems in terms of what I've said and stuff? Because, like I said, with clearly another thing I've noticed and I feel is that these players can't handle the expectation. They don't have the mentality. They can't handle being favourites. They can't handle the pressure on going up this year. They can't handle it. That's what it's showing. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and the fact that you're 3 points behind Frosinone is great.
Frosinone, those bastards, man. Those absolute bastards. That doesn't change.
I don't know if that game is probably like a curse since then on Palermo.
Well, we haven't been up since then. We've been liquidated since then and everything, but
maybe that's why.
Since that playoff final where they blatantly cheated, throwing balls onto the pitch and everything. Fuck Frosinone. For however bad Palermo are doing right now, and how, you know, Frosinone, which they are, they're above us and they're doing better than us, still bastards, still cheats.
Yeah. And obviously it's going to be, I guess, obviously a really big game against Virtus and Tella. You know, because I've seen from their recent form, you know, even Frosinone destroyed them 4-0, but then they went on to beat Empoli 1-0. So
Empoli have the uneasy, so it's not a surprise. Fucking useless.
But still, you know, I do think it'll be a tough game against Virtus and Tella.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Like, I know it's away from home as well. That's the thing. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not. Maybe we'll scrape a win just because it's Virtus and Tella, who are a newly promoted team. I mean, we did all right against Pescara, 5-0 and everything. But I reckon there'll be a tougher game than Pescara. It's away from home. I'll be honest, I can just see this bit. We're going to draw 0-0. I can just see this shit happening right in front of me. It's going to be some shit 0-0 or something. Like, it's going to be we're going to not be able to break them down, and we're going to stink out, but just because there's no evidence otherwise to suggest that anything else is going to happen. If I was to give you a prediction, it's still quite early, but if I was to give you a prediction, probably 0-0. Genuinely, like, I have zero confidence in this team. Zero.
Yeah. I guess for my prediction, just from how Palermo are doing, maybe the break does help Palermo.
We need it, yeah. If we're going to if we come back against Virtus and Tella, put in a good performance, because we do have, on paper, a favorable run of fixtures coming up. This has to be the starting point of the turn. Otherwise, then I will say, even though it's still the first half of the season, if we don't get consistent wins in this run of games, I will say, and this I'm talking about the next 4 or 5 games, if we are still losing and drawing, I will say automatic promotion's done. I will say it's done at that point.
Yeah, because it feels like a team like at least one of
Monza. They're so much. I hate to say it, they're so much better than us right now. So I watched them. I watched them in one of their games recently a little bit. So much better, man.
Yeah.
So it's clear. Even Modena, they're way better than us right now.
Yeah.
Like, we're not playing as these teams are playing way better than us right now, and they just quite frankly they deserve it more than us.
Yeah. In terms of my prediction against Virtus and Tella, I'll go with 1-1.
Yeah, you know as well, it's going to be a stink fest.
Yeah,
but it's going to be an absolute stink fest.
Paulo scores. Who knows?
He needs it. I think Paulo needs a goal. He's desperate because even against Pescara, we scored 5 goals. He didn't get. He got 2 assists, 2 or 3 assists, I think, but he didn't score. And I think he really needs a goal.
Yeah, that's perhaps probably why.
Look, I'm not confident. I'm really, really not confident. And sadly, Palermo, the way the season's going, we're in for a repeat of last season again.
That would be fun.
No, it won't be fun. It will be the worst. I mean, I know last season we finished 8th. The last playoff spot. That's absolutely disgusting.
So maybe 7th. Phase 2, phase 3.
No, this is phase 1 under Inzaghi. This is phase 1, first season.
Yeah.
Last season was phase 1 Dionisi, which is just, you might as well just call it phase shit.
Yeah. And then you obviously play Empoli in a few weeks from now.
Oh, that is one we better win, man. Because of that manager they got, that absolute manipulative clown they have, right? We better win that game. Because I don't. If we lose to him, if we lose to that absolute fraud, then I'm done.
Yeah, can't wait. And that's the first game after your birthday.
Yeah.
Even
no, man. Dionisi's not beating Palermo. It can't happen. It cannot happen.
Okay, you know what? Palermo beat everyone the 2 games before Empoli.
Well, hopefully we get 2 wins, and then hopefully we smash Empoli. That's the one. By the way, nothing against Empoli. Nothing against that. I don't have any problems with the club. I have a problem with their manager. That's it. Their manager deserves to lose that game.
Yeah, but I'll go 1-1.
1-1. Look, that's the reality right now. Obviously, Virtus Entella, good memories playing them. We played them. We knocked them out of the playoffs on our way to getting promoted back to Serie B in 2022. So, ending off with a bit of a positive there. Virtus Entella, the last time we played them. It was actually a tough game because I remember we won the first leg 2-1 away from home. And we went 2-0 up, but they got a goal back right at the end. So then it was obviously a bit nervy going at home. And they went 2-0 up at our ground. So they had turned it around completely, made it 3-2. But then last 20 minutes, got 2 goals, went through 4-3 on aggregate. So last time we played them, it was a massive scare. We were, you could say, minutes away from not getting promoted to Serie B in 2022. So hopefully, I mean, I'll take 2-1. In this game. If we can get the same result away, but obviously times are very different. So genuinely, like that Palermo team, I know it's Serie C, so obviously right now the team we have is at a totally different level and stuff. But what I will say about that team is that there was a lot of chemistry. They had complete chemistry. They all had their focus on the goal, and it all changed when Baldini came in sort of halfway through the season, came back to the club after a long time as manager. He came in, got us firing, and we were fantastic. And we fully deserved to go up. But sadly, since then, we haven't seen that same chemistry. I mean, the chemistry in that team was something else. The only survivor from that team is Brunori. That's it. Okay. He's the only player that survived from that team. The rest, obviously no longer here. But
as players in the
club.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. No longer as the rest of them no longer here at the club. No longer.
Yeah, that's what Charlie meant.
Yeah, of course. All I hope is that one day we get that sort of chemistry back. We get that sort of team spirit back, because that was fantastic. Like, genuinely, even though it was very nervy, because obviously, for those who don't know, Serie C, the playoffs are like a whole season in itself. We went through, I think it was 8 games. We went for 8 ties of 2 legs to get, I think it was something like that. It was a long way.
16 games. Right?
Yeah, it was a long way. Maybe it wasn't 8. Maybe it wasn't 8, but I remember it was a lot of games. And basically, yeah, and like I said, in Serie C, the playoffs are basically a whole another season in itself. So, but we did it. We got up through the playoffs, obviously beating Padova in the final, which obviously are in Serie B now as a newly promoted team, as for Virtus Entella. So, yeah, good memories the last time we played them. But, right now it's hard to kind of, feel confident. It really is. So, yeah, 10, before we wrap up, any final thoughts on what we were speaking about?
Yeah, I guess, looking forward to obviously the international break and all. We'll see.
I'm glad the international break here, because both my clubs have been letting me down.
Well, there's no international break for Depot, but for Newcastle, yes.
Newcastle. I mean, we'll talk about it on Wednesday. But which
we'll do Yeah, that's the show.
Which, yeah, by the way, guys, the Year of the Bird will be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. this week.
Yeah.
So
technically 48 hours or 47 hours
yeah.
now. So, but yeah, looking forward to the international break and seeing how many goals Italy have to score.
That's a whole nother story.
We'll get there. And maybe, we're not sure, we might do, not this week, the week after, maybe a stream for seeing who Italy get in that World Cup playoff. Potentially, not sure, but we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, doing good, and obviously like and subscribe.
100%, yes. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to Tens as well if you haven't already. This is being streamed on both channels, so yeah, get your thoughts in the chat in the comment section, as well as I'm sure some of you guys watching, whoever was watching, probably enjoyed my Palermo tears. So hopefully they dry up after the international break, but I'm a bit doubtful, sadly. So yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap up the show. Big up everyone for watching. Like, subscribe to both channels, and we will see you in the next one.
Yeah, Newcastle.